Namaste, everyone. Boy, back again with Litkayev. Today we're going to talk about, and this is something that I think everybody knows, especially in secret society. They know this. We're going to talk about mask. Mask. We're going to talk about this illusionary reality thing called mask. All right. I didn't know what she was talking about. I didn't know when secret societies wear masks. I know it's related in a similar sense, and she was just doing his thing. He's just agreeing with it. So, in reality, everybody wears a mask. It's the persona that makes us who we are. Everybody wears a mask. It's the personality that makes Susan, Susan, Jane, Jane, John, John, Marquand, Litkayev. Not so much him. He doesn't need to wear a mask. He's more than that. But we all wear masks. We have to talk about mask and illusions. We don't talk about mask as far as metaphor and personality. It's deeper than that. Mask. This is going to sound crazy, but if anybody knows what it's like to see somebody shed away their physical features and then there's something grotesque behind it. And that's what we're getting at. So, mask. Guys, we're illusions. Okay? We're projected from the Akashic records into this place, and it's just a mental projection from our mind that's projecting and making physical matter in this reality. That's why we're gods. We're just creating things perpetually with the use of Yagmukmi's mind inside of Mars consciousness. So, but everything wears a mask. Everything. Because the place that we're stuck inside of, which I can't wait to get to that video, that's just gonna kind of put the icing on the cake. Everything wears a mask in this place. So think about a Bluetooth radio, or like a pair of chopsticks, or let's say here's the biggest thing, because you'll see this a lot in the Tibetan artworks. You'll see food. You got food. Yeah, stuff, food, matter. We eat it all the time. Yay, whatever. But it's wearing a mask. Everything wears a mask. Even the physical reality wears a mask. Even the constructs wears a mask. Organic life wears a mask. Okay? Now, knowing this, it took me a second to figure it out. So when I started asking questions to Litkayev, Siva, about reality, about a month into communicating with him in last November 2015, when I made the discovery using the pendulum to find out who my higher subconscious is, I asked him, what is life like? When you have a presence that's, for one, that's not a demon, because this guy has changed my life. I went from an alcoholic. I don't drink now, no more. I mean, I still drink like vodka, or like something that he will allow me, like grain alcohol. But alcohol doesn't work on me no more. Something's up with my physiology. When I died and came back, I reject the chemical agent of alcohol. So it doesn't affect me like it affects everybody else, where everybody gets a buzz. I can't. Now I just freaking drink the shit for taste, and I can't get buzzed off of it. So we'll talk about how sharing consciousness with the entities that we've been living with in another video, and why climaxing and getting drunk and all this is related to demons and not yourself. All right, so everything wears a mask. All right? So mask is one thing. Reality is another. So when we wake up every day, we see our projected selves. I mean, kind of think about the Matrix, but don't think about the Matrix. It's a lot more sinister than that. So in the beginning, when I was asking Litkayev, Shiva, about reality, okay, is it illusion? They're very strictly adamant about this illusion shit. And they say yes. So I'm like, okay, well, is my life like a video game? And Litkayev kind of says yes. So I'm like, okay, so is this computer based? And he's saying no. This has nothing to do with any computer, anything. So I had to ask questions like, okay, I had to ask like type of conundrum questions like, what is reality like? Uh, what I like Alice in Wonderland or a trip, and to come to find out, it is a trip. It's not real. So I was asking him questions like, okay, so what's life like? I kept asking him a bunch of questions. Is it related to a simulation? And it is. So I'm like, okay, if it's a simulation, what kind of simulation is it? So I'm like, I asked him one of the dumbest questions. I mean, because he was getting kind of frustrated. I wasn't hitting the right question. You got to be specific with these guys. So I was like, so is our lives like Silent Hill? And then he just goes crazy. It's like, yeah, life's like Silent Hill. So I'm like, I didn't think about it. I didn't think about it for a long time. I'm like, okay, so life's like Silent Hill. So I kept asking questions about the fog. He's like, yeah, the fog, it's your life's just like you're living in the fog waking state. And then when you sleep at night, it turns to fucking hell. So between 10 to 6 is the scamming hour. And we'll get into the scamming hour and the scamming of minds here later on in other videos. But so he's like, your life is like Silent Hill. And he was very serious about it. And I didn't understand why. Guys, the Tibetan Book of the Truth, the Dead is the truth. I got to repeat it one more time and say it the right way. Guys, the Tibetan Book of the Dead is the freaking truth, and it's code. So I figured out the code of it. So when I figured out the truth about mask, and this is like what Siva was explaining to me, like everybody upstairs in heaven was just going bananas, like he's figuring out, finally, somebody's figuring it out. So everything in this place wears masks. People, objects, dogs, cats, you freaking name it. Everything is an illusionary mask. Because guys, if you see the truth of samsara and what it looks like, you would blow your brains out. Everybody would kill themselves, and you can't really mess with the mind. We're going to talk about mind death later on in other videos. There's something that's strictly forbidden in heaven. Headshots. Even in freaking video games. And they're serious. Headshots are strictly freaking forbidden as well as eating beef. There's just two things you can't do in the universe, guys, and that's eat beef and freaking do somebody to somebody's mind as they die, or like a headshot or some type of something that affects the brain. So anyways, back to mask. So the Tibetan Book of the Dead is the truth. Life is like Silent Hill, and it's kind of like the Matrix. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm asking the right questions. But I had to really think about something. And I had to go back to like the year 1995. And in the year 1995, me and the mother of my child, which she housed Sati. She passed away. She died of leukemia in 2001. But I didn't know Rosetta Maria Brand, the mother of my child, was actually housing Sati. So I didn't know that was Sati. I didn't know I was Siva. You know, I didn't know that Siva was with me since I was 3 years old when I first killed myself. So anyways, let's get back to this mass business. So I thought about something that my baby mama had. She had a bad trip back in 1995. We were doing acid for the first time. So I'm seeing all kind of crazy shit on acid. Walls breathing, sinking, and contracting, and walls spreading apart. Not spreading literally, just spreading. Look at pictures, and the pictures would come to life, but everything would stay in the frame. And my baby mama was just sitting there being quiet. And I didn't understand why. And she was peeking. So as she was peeking, she just got up and left. And she said, Mark, I'm going back to the house. So I'm like, okay, cool. And my dude was like, dude, you need to get your girl. Now I'm from the hood. I don't know nothing about acid. They just told me to be in a good mood. And it's gonna take a long day, like 12 hours. So I'm like, I don't care. What else is there to do back then but smoke weed and drink? So anyways, I hook up with these white cats, do acid. My baby mama's peeking. She's like 3 hours into her trip, and she's watching everybody. We're all talking in conversation. She's watching everybody. She gets up and she says, I'm going home. I'm out of here. And she leaves. I'm like, okay, I'll see you later. I didn't know the rules of acid. My dude Jeremy, I hate to say this, you know, this isn't a black and white issue, but we are the only black people there. So me and my big mom was the only black people there. She went. My dude was like, hey man, go get your girl. She's tripping. I'm like, no, she's not. She's not mad about anything, dude. I haven't pissed her off today. And he's like, no, dude, you don't get it. She's tripping. And I'm like, dog, no, I didn't piss her off today. What's she tripping about? And I'm like, he didn't get it. I was like, dude, your girl's tripping balls. She can hurt herself. So I'm like, oh shit. I better go out here and see what's going on. So anyways, I go out there and she's like, she looks at me and she has the most serious look on her face. She's like, everybody in there is fucking fake. Everybody in there is fake. Everybody's in there fake. And she couldn't stop saying that shit. And I'm like, Tootie, why is everybody fake? And she was like, I saw behind their face. Everybody in there had a demon behind their face. And it came out. And she was serious. She couldn't stop talking about it for fucking a long time. And she, not even for the bad trip, it stayed with her for a long time after the whole trip experience. So she pretty much had a bad trip and saw everybody that had like demon faces behind their actual face. She said they were coming from behind forward. And everybody in there is fake as shit. Everybody was fake. Everybody's there fake. And everybody was a demon behind their face. And I didn't understand what she meant. She was like, yeah, they're all fake. They're fucking demons. And I didn't understand that for years until I kept thinking about it, throughout my life. Like, why would she say everybody's fake and everybody look like demons behind their faces? So what's up with that shit? So years later, just like recently, about 2 months ago, I'm conversating with Siva, seance and channeling, and we're just going back and forth. And I sat and just thought about it. I thought about the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And I'm thinking about all these mind projections of all these crazy looking entities doing crazy shit and eating entrails and skull cups with entrails and all kind of like human matter and the stuff that they're eating and eating entrails and eating, and it all is involved with eating or some type of messed up projection of a yidam or a demon or something. And I sat and thought about it. Then I thought about Silent Hill. And then I thought about Patmos and Baba's teachings. Then I thought about the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Then I thought about Tootie having her trip about everybody has a demon behind their face. And then I fucking see the shit in meditation. And then I start to realize something. We're all wearing masks. We're all are born in a place that isn't earth, let alone something heavenly. The only thing heavenly is what God does for us by waking us up every day and walking on the matter so we don't fall through darkness. Guys, this place isn't a good place, okay? And everything here is not what you think it is. So guys, it's better to defend yourself. Always be wary in who you deal with. The only thing that's the truth in this place is love. Love is the only truth. Everything else is fucking bullshit. It's all illusions. It's all lies. If it's not about love, and may not mean that means making love to women. I'm not talking about making love to yourself. I'm not talking about making love to a bunch of people. I'm talking about the love aspect. The truth about the word love. Love for what you do. Love for what you are. Love for what you create. Love for what you make. Love for what your mate is. Love for your mate. Love. Love for your children. Love. Passion. Love for a total stranger. Love for a total stranger. Okay? You see a homeless bum and he look like he really need money. Give him money. It's freaking love. Just do it. It doesn't matter. You don't know what they've been through. Show them some love. Love is the only truth. Everything else is an illusion. And everything in here is wearing a mask. So guys, I hate to tell you this, but there's 179 hells. Okay? And the thing about this mask that we're living in is a mask of the truth. This is just an emulation of homeworld, heaven, Africa, Tibet, places of Asia, Japan, America, before it all got all corrupted. These are all emulations, the nature of the reality, not the buildings and structures we created. The actual truth of what nature is the closest emulation to homeworld, Lasharkil, where every one of these guys are from, right up under the dimension of heaven. Okay? So these beings, the multiple armed beings are heaven made. Okay? And they reside there. And they're one layer right up under it, which is the worlds of Lasharkil. And we're in the emulated world of Lasharkil, harnessed from the mind of Mara. So when you look at the sun at the sky, it's not a fucking sun, dude. But we're going to explain all this later on. But the Illuminati know it. They know that the sun is an all-seeing eye. Guess what? It's the front eye of Mara. And you're inside of his navel chakra. And you experience his delusions and minds and creations of emulations of homeworld that we create. That's already been here for us, guys. We're in a learning place. It's fucking hell. And it's not Earth. Okay? So if you want to keep believing what NASA tells you guys, that's fine. But I'm going to tell you something right now. When civvies start going up into space, they got plans for them too. So Um, life is an illusion. Everything is a fucking lie. And I hate to use language because this has led Kai in real time, channeling this information as we're going back and forth. Love is the only truth. Everything else is bullshit. Okay? I mean, have love for how you eat. You are what you eat. You know, if you like eating McDonald's hamburgers, I would highly suggest you stop. We're not talking about um, changing the whole world to stop eating beef, but that's a mask you don't want to eat because you're really eating yourselves. Okay, and that's what's underneath that mask. Hate to be a bearer of bad news, but we only got 68 years to get all this shit out to you guys. So see you later, and we'll be back with no more videos.